Day 3 of the zombie outbreak. The man was surviving off vending machines in a building. He had moved all the supplies to the second floor and blocked off every staircase leading up, leaving only one necessary entrance. The exhausting work left him extremely tired. When he woke up, he expected to be sore all over, but he didn't feel anything. He checked the wound on his hand. It hadn't healed. It was grayish-white and he couldn't feel any pain. That was strange. He went to the break room and started the coffee machine. The city's power was still on, but there were brief flickers. He didn't know how much longer the electricity would last. While he still could, he heated up some boxed rice and 2 pieces of fried chicken. After 2 bites, he didn't want any more. It was the same as yesterday, but yesterday he had finished every bite. He opened the window and saw more infected outside than the day before. Luckily, none had entered the building. The front door was wide open. They could come in any time. The man kept a daily journal. He wrote down everything he knew, then went to wash his hands. The water flow was weaker than yesterday, not because the faucet was broken, but because the city system was failing. Looking at the flickering lights, he realized he needed to stock up on fresh water while the filtration system still worked. He moved aside the barrier at the exit. He had checked and the coast was clear below, but he still needed to fill up fast and get back upstairs. The water was still clean. He started filling a bucket. Halfway through, a sound came from the main entrance. The echo startled him. Through the doorway, he saw a person standing there, backlit so he couldn't make out the face. The person wore a backpack and walked normally, but the man grabbed the bucket and ran up to the second floor without hesitation. The stranger had broken the lock, meaning infected could now enter the first floor anytime. The man spilled half his drinking water on the way but didn't stop. He dragged a locker back to block the entrance, making a loud noise, then leaned against it to rest. Strangely, his heart wasn't beating fast. After all that exertion, he should have been out of breath. He looked down through the observation gap. The stranger was trying to push open the barrier, but it was useless. The lockers together weighed hundreds of kilograms. The stranger stood in the lobby and started shouting for help. From his voice, he didn't seem infected, but the man didn't plan to respond. He had too many supplies and wouldn't test a stranger's character with them. He looked out the window. There were more infected on the road than yesterday. Many lights were on toward the harbor, maybe a large survivor camp. He wasn't sure. He checked on the stranger again. The man was doing the same things the man had done earlier, checking the vending machines and water dispenser in the lobby, then sitting on a chair, rubbing his face in frustration. That was when the man noticed the wound on the stranger's hand. It was grayish-white, just like his own. The stranger crouched by the pool, looked at something, turned away, then came back and crouched again. He seemed very anxious. It was almost dark. The man looked down again. The stranger was lowering his head, swaying irregularly, then started pacing around the pool. Then a strange growl came from his throat. It made the man's skin crawl. The front door was open. The stranger's shouting and growling would carry outside and might attract other infected. To be safe, the man wedged a solid wooden table against the door, then closed the office door. He could no longer hear the noise from the lobby, but he could feel the floor subtly vibrating. The boxed lunch from the morning was still on the table, but it felt like it was from a long time ago. The lights had gone out at some point. The man thought about the wound on the stranger's hand, the same grayish-white as his own. Maybe he had been injured 2 days later than the stranger. He looked out the window. A dozen infected were walking in the same direction. Back at the observation gap, several infected had already entered the first floor lobby.